bumping away, streaming for all to see. El Cachorro, El Cachorro. There's a dawn superheroes day today for you and me. El Cachorro, El Cachorro.
What's up, Cachorroites and shark fans? We're back for night 3 of Shark Week. I know it's taking me a little long to get these out a little bit, but do my best before I go to G-Fest. Alright, so tonight was, I think, really like one of the strongest nights. I think possibly this could be the best night of the week so far. So we had 3 shows. We had Deadliest Bite, 6,000 pound shark, and the Monster Hammerhead. Gotta look over at the TV screen for the names. So, very interesting shows. Interesting things happen to them. So, start with the Deadliest Bite. So, they're trying to figure out which shark has the deadliest bite between the great hammerhead, tiger shark, bull shark, and great white. And the one thing that kind of bothered me a little bit was, I guess they're testing the shark bites in PSI, and that was coming off as bull, hammer, and then I think great white if I can say it right, and tiger. I don't know, maybe they just got bad bites from the sharks, but so they're trying to say like the great white's got one of the weaker bites, I guess. I don't know, it's just the way it's measuring. It's measuring this in PSI. We know the night before they had John Cena do a little thing where he's testing his, strength on a little machine thing, and they mentioned the great white shark having the strongest bite out there at 4,000 pounds, and a bull shark at 1,300 pounds. So this time around, now they're saying the bull shark has the best PSI to its bite. I don't know if that's too different from the two or not, but that kind of contradicts that. So that's kind of, But the rest of the footage for the show is really good. So they're testing the biometers, but they also doing these special camera things to try and get like special slow motion scans to see how fast they can bite, and they could also do it like a scan to see how it's motions and stuff that it can do. So it's still a pretty cool episode with that stuff. So I did enjoy the episode, even if I was a little confused by that part a little bit. The next episode was the 6,000 pound shark. So our heavy metal scientist guy, what is heard rumors of these divers saying there's these massive, possible 6,000 pound sharks, great whites out there, and obviously they talk about Deep Blue, the biggest great white that's known, being over 4,000 pounds. So they're trying to decide if there could be some bigger sharks and how big can sharks get. So they're testing it because they said obviously it's hard to weigh a shark. They have to do like an equation thing. So they tried a couple. They tried a thing with poles with marks to try and get their length, and another person would get like the girth, so they could do the equation to kind of come up with what the sharks weighed. It's a cool concept. They were getting some like average sized males, and then they kept getting like one big female would show up that they ended up naming. So they try that technique, then I like these ones where they have to try and get these like swipes. Oh, in the first test result, they got pooped on by the sharks. That was kind of funny. The shark pooped on them. So next thing they want to do a butt swipe just to see if they could kind of figure out what these animals are eating. I question the legitimacy here because when he supposedly gets the shot, it doesn't really show him get it. Because they have this big giant like cotton swab thing, like a stick with like 1,000 cotton swabs. So first they pour chum all over him, so I'm hoping it's like, wouldn't that taint your possible results there if you dumped chum on. If you had a chum thing, you pulled up a thing of chum all over you. I'm hoping maybe they had it covered. I'm assuming he had it covered for that part, and so the water kind of dissipated it before he uncovered it. But you didn't really actually see him get it. But he's like, I got it. Interesting thing there, because a lot of these episodes involved like these boats with cranes on them that were like doing the show. It was like a cool new thing for one of these nice fancy cranes. The crane broke down while he was down there. So like, hey, we're not going to tell him about it because we don't want to panic him until, and see what happens. So when he finally gets the sample, and he's like, all right, you can pull me up. Like, yeah, we can't do that at the moment. Like, worst case scenario, you might have to swim back. You might have to swim out. And he's like, there's sharks around me. Fudge that. That ain't happening. I'm surrounded by massive great whites. So, yeah, you ain't swimming for it. So they eventually get the crane up to the point where they can pull him out. Supposedly the female's main diet is elephant seals. So they come with another plan with this new special 3D camera that can like take 1,000 pictures and represent and make a 3D model. Now, the interesting part about this dive is a shark rams the cameraman's cage, and we find out their cameraman is Andy Casagrande, one of the big famous shark guys. Hey, dude, he ain't even get. Man, it's like he's taking a total backseat. He's like, yeah, I'll just be the cameraman. You guys, no, I don't need no TV time. Don't need let me talk. You don't even know he's on the dive, man. He's just that's how cool Andy is, man. It's like he'll do his own specials where he gets to be like the head guy in front of the camera and stuff like that, but they don't do this other ones. Like you don't even know he's there. The only reason you know he's there because a shark attacked his cage. So hey, Andy's there. He's had nothing to do with the science going on here. He's not even like gets no TV in front of the camera time. But hey, cool, Andy was there. Thought that was kind of funny. So they get their 3D. So they also come up. They do ultrasound thing too to find out that the shark's only using like half of its liver, and saying that the shark's liver can expand and withhold, and so they use the 3D model, and they can estimate that their female shark could get up to 4,000 pounds. They do the 3D replica to see what it would take for that shark. If we get the big blue size, could be 6,000 pounds. If we could get, it's like an 18-foot shark. So they say that shark would get up to 22 feet long, she would have the potential to become that she could get up to 6,000 pounds. It's cool shots. Some cool stuff with great white. So was a pretty cool show. The heavy metal blowfish guy, scientist, he's pretty cool. The final one was about these really aggressive hammerhead sharks that pretty much are in one area of the Caribbean Sea. Not, I guess, outside of the Bahamas, closer maybe, I guess, to Cuba. You don't really hear about it. With the hurricane, I guess it's all like wilderness. So I don't think there's fishermen that go there because they mentioned these hammerheads. So the theory is that they think that they might have a new subspecies of hammerhead that's more aggressive and slightly different, genetically different than the normal great hammerhead from the area. So they're about getting samples and tags and stuff like that. And then they have another team that's around Florida getting hammerhead, just samples of regular hammerheads there for comparisons, and their goal was at least try and get 2. So they have some really cool shots with a couple hammers. They also have a really, really smoking hot shark babe. A lot of these shark babes, people worried about the Shark Week going woke because a lot of the shark scientists are very good looking. And how else I was like, damn, I should have went into shark science. Marine biology, maybe. But yeah, so they have interactions with the hammer, but they just can't get the sample. There's a couple times like you could have got the sample right there. You could have got the sample right there, but you didn't go for it. Why did you go for it? And also they have interactions with tiger sharks, so they're using the tiger sharks to try and track where they think they could find the hammers. So at the very end of the episode, they finally free diving. They're able to get a sample of a hammerhead, and then the very next day, on the last day, they happen to get a hammerhead on a buoy so they can get their second sample. I sometimes think a lot of this is added for dramatic effect. So it always comes out to like the last day. This is when they always get their musket. We got to get this, and it always comes out on the last dive of the last day of the expedition. We get it. Probably got it on the first day, and then so they filmed a bunch of other stuff so they could save it and say, "All right, here's the last day." I would not be surprised. I would totally believe that's actually honestly happens. But the science shows that they are the same species of hammerhead, but the one they got a sample of, they found out was related to another hammerhead they had a sample of about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's they can show that the hammerhead colony is going from Florida all the way to definitely called Cuba because I can't remember the name of the place. So it's like just north of Cuba this place was. So saying that the hammerhead's range is a lot wider than the great hammerhead's range is a lot wider than I thought. So pretty solid. So like I said, all 3 shows were really good. The John Cena's little tidbit this time is he interviewed a shark cinematographer who told a story about how there was the rare sighting of a blue shark in somewhere in like close to Florida harbor or something like that. So he went in and was filming it, and he knew it was about time they needed to call the dive, but he pushed himself a little bit more, and he reached out and like kind of grabbed the fin of the blue shark, which made it turn and bite him on the shoulder. So he kind of wrestled with the shark. So he had to kind of spin with the shark because he was saying, "I'm not letting the shark get me." And it got to a point where when the shark was like looking eye to eye, and he had this member like, "Wow, what a beautiful animal." And the shark let him go and swim off. So he's like gets bit on the shoulder. And his whole reaction is like, "Oh wow, that was such a beautiful animal." But he like the cool thing is like, "Hey, it was my fault. I provoked the attack." So it's like, that's my lesson I learned. I shouldn't. I pushed. So, but it was like a nice, really cool, serious interview. And he got the guy, and John got the guy that showed him his scars, that showed him the scars from the bite. So a serious bit from John there for the. So it's cool letting him do some cool serious parts in there as well. So very solid night all around. I think this would top the Sunday night shows. This may be the best night of the week so far. We'll see what they have saved in store. We'll try at least get the next Wednesday night's watched and maybe get the video up for that before I go to Chicago. Still need to watch The Acolyte too. Make a video that will probably piss people off. But there we are. That was a Shark Week Night 3. Until next time, Cachorro out.